Alex in Canada, how are you? Welcome to the show. You're saying people need to give up pleasures and enjoyment. So, are you there, Alex?
Yeah, I'm right here. Hi, how's
Okay,
it going?
I'm gonna go ahead and start the clock, and you get to make your point, sir.
Okay, so I was I was taught the idea of having to like give up pleasures and enjoyments and career goals and like having to be willing to do what God will call me to do. It's been causing a lot of confusion for me. Like and like another thing is like because I've watched the show a lot and like I really think about this a lot. Like after you argue with like religious people with like very reasonable and like valid arguments, like why do they still hold on to their religious beliefs? That's something I think about a lot.
I'm sorry, I'm confused here, Alex, because it says here on the screening thing that you're a theist, that you believe in God.
Yeah, but like I do have doubts.
Okay, so I'm not sure what your question is because
Yeah.
you seem to have this objection to the notion that people have to give up their pleasures and things for religion in order to do what God calls you to do. And so my question is, I don't know how anybody knows that a God called them to do anything, what a God called them to do, or what they're expected to give up. And until somebody can answer those questions, I don't have thoughts on it.
And your other question, Alex, to I guess follow up with that, you asked why, when they call the show, you've seen the show, and the show gives responses to their claim to God, and they and refute those claims, and then they still want to hold on to their faith. Is that what you asked? Wondering why they do that?
Yeah, that's my question. Yeah.
Well, why you said you're a theist, but you have doubts. Let me ask you that. Why do you hold on to your ideas about God or beliefs of God?
Um because like yeah, like the hope it gives like with heaven.
Well, do you want to believe things that are true or things that make you feel better?
Things that are true.
Because I do too. So whether something makes, I mean, the idea that someone my best friend Steve was killed in an accident years ago, and I would love to be able to see him again. We used to sit and talk about all kinds of things, and that was taken away from me way earlier than I thought it would be. And I would love the idea of getting to sit with him in heaven and chat about things again. But I don't believe that's true. I don't see any evidence for there being a heaven or any kind of everlasting life or eternal life after this one. So I'm going to live my life as though this were the only life I get. And to believe something that makes me feel better, a warm, fuzzy blanket, just because it makes me feel better, doesn't serve me well in this life. So that's why it makes more sense to me to let go of ideas of God and religion that have no evidence and no validity to believe in, and to simply embrace what I can demonstrate is true. And I would encourage you, Alex, if you're clinging to ideas of faith that don't make any sense to you anymore, just let them go. Life makes a lot more sense when you don't have to factor a God into it. It just does.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Good.
I just found another question. Is that okay? Is
Sure.
that okay? Yeah. Like like how was it like for you? Like you guys with overcoming like the fear of hell? Like just like my thoughts. I ruminate about it a lot. And like I just like I really want to. That's something like yeah that like bothers me.
Matt, did you grow up with the fear of hell as a indoctrinated Baptist boy?
Kind of. I definitely did not have a serious fear of hell in the way that some people did, because I walked down the aisle at the age of 5. I was saved at such a young age that I didn't spend a lot of time worrying about hell. It was just, this is a matter of fact thing. You're saved. And so my fear of hell was more on behalf of others. Like, I didn't want my friends to go to hell. I knew that I was saved. I was going to heaven. Is not a problem. I know people who have essentially suffered for a long period of time because of their fear of hell. And I don't know, like I've said many times before, that I think the best thing you can do is realize how much time have you spent worrying about other religions' hells, doctrines you weren't indoctrinated into and things like that. And the other thing is, it does go away, and it does kind of, get easier, that you were indoctrinated into ideas, and it takes give yourself a break, because it takes some time before they stop having a massive impact on you. I think is probably the easiest.
Yeah. And I've, you and I both, Pat, have talked to many, many people who have suffered severe trauma from those ideas. And it does take time, Alex, as you let go of faith and religion and those ideas. It takes time for that to kind of wash out of your system, if you will. But it will. It will. And as you get further and further from those ideas that kept you captive, you'll find that freedom gets a lot better, and that clear thinking kind of washes away those ideas that didn't make any sense to you to begin with.
Yeah. Give yourself some time, give yourself a little slack, and just keep asking questions, and don't give in to fears. Like, don't believe something because you're afraid of the consequences the other time. Keep doing what you said you did, which Dave asked about, which is you care more about whether something's true than whether it's comforting. And then call us back and let us know how you're doing and what you're thinking. Yeah. But thanks, Alex.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
That's always a difficult one. I mean, as somebody, like, I was a fundamentalist Christian for 30 years, and yet I didn't suffer. Like, I have atheist friends who, after they stop believing, they still have nightmares.
Oh yeah,
from
me
the
too.
hell indoctrination.
Yeah, I didn't have it. I wasn't born into it. I came into faith as an 18-year-old, and hell was never a part of our lexicon. It wasn't a thing we were concerned about, because we had already punched our ticket, like you said. So, I wasn't worried about burning in hell. But yeah, I've seen a lot of people who have that trauma.